Hello, and thank you for tuning into this Engerati studio interview at Asian Utility Week 2016. I'm Denise, and joining me is Evo Stefanov, Managing Partner at Methodia. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
In this session, we're going to be talking about software needs for utilities. My first question to you is, what challenges do utilities face when it comes to their software needs?
Well, before we talk about challenges, we need to take a look at what's happened to software in general in the last 20 years. And you know, like not even 20, 10 years ago, huge corporations, utilities, healthcare, you name it, they were the beneficiaries of the best software, the best technology that could be used out there in the market. Well, that's changed tremendously in the last 2, 3, 4 years. Social software, all sorts of engagement software now is being used by consumers, and really the best technology goes to consumers first and then follows up into utilities. So pretty much the real software challenge for those huge corporations is that they need to really quickly kind of shift their focus of how they develop software, how do they drive new solutions, and really switch from pushing technology and solution to now being pulled by technology and by consumers, because consumers, they know now what they want, they see it day in, day out, they interact with software more than ever before. So they become more and more knowledgeable, and utilities need to really quickly adapt to that and adjust to this brand new trend.
Yeah. And Asia's utilities, I mean, do they have a specific list of challenges when it comes to software, and are they any different to the rest of the world?
Well, every region is going to have their own kind of specificities. Obviously, from a population perspective, from sheer number of consumers here in Asia, things are very different than what's happening in Europe and US. So ultimately, challenges are going to be different from a data collection, understanding the information that this data gives you, really getting knowledge from this overall perspective. Also, some of the countries here in Asia are extremely aggressive with implementing smart metering solutions. I mean, China alone is going to have 100% of their consumers be on smart meters by the end of this year. This generates a tremendous need for analytical tools and real-time billing and giving real-time information of what's happening. So absolutely, I think in Asia, some of those challenges that utilities are facing all over the world are much more pronounced here, simply because of the size, geography, usage of utility and everything else.
How can smart energy innovations and IoT platforms for smart metering and smart energy applications really enhance the utility business, in your opinion?
Well, so back to my original point. I mean, consumers really are getting into a driving seat. I mean, they now, some of them generate energy, some of them exchange energy. Solar panels on houses and generating heat. It's not news anymore. I mean, it's happening everywhere. So ultimately, software technology in general can enable utilities to be much more in tune with the customer and be much more relevant with the customer, as opposed to continuing with the old model, which we're all very, very familiar with. So those smart utilities, they don't have to be small or large. They don't have to be established or brand new companies. They just have to be smart and then realize very quickly what's happening in the marketplace, realize very quickly that everybody's starting to participate in the energy market and the utility generation in general, and ultimately start thinking of tools, instruments, processes, software, anything that enables consumers to be even more engaged and more active in order to create this new partnership and to create this new ecosystem, which is pretty much establishing itself anyways.
All right. What would be your advice to Asia's utilities or to the energy sector as a whole? Perhaps you want to give advice on a global level, but we are at Asian Utility Week. So what would be your advice to utilities here?
Well, my advice to Asian utilities is going to be exactly the same as utilities companies all over the world. I mean, if you take a look at what's happened in the last 10, 15 years with large industries like transportation, real estate, knowledge and content generation, telecoms and everything else, it's more than obvious that technology and the ability of people to participate is totally disrupting the utility business as well. I mean, things are changing by the minute. Very established models have already been totally broken, and this is only going to continue. So ultimately, if I have to think about what's going to happen to utilities in the next 4 or 5 years, all the business models, everything is going to be changed. And those who are smart and really realize they need to participate in this brand new way of doing business, they're going to be the ones that stay relevant in the future. So ultimately, if I can say, there's a good old saying, say, don't cut the branch that you're sitting on. Well, to utilities, I can say the total opposite. Start cutting the branch that you're sitting on, because otherwise you'll fall.
I think we'll end off there. That's a good place to end. Thank you.
Thank
you, Evo, for joining us. And thank you for tuning into this session. If you're wanting more insight into the Asian Utility Week, have a look at our other videos on Engerati.com. Thank you.